Hi guys from the UK. The time is 4:50 p.m. UK time. So I thought I'd do a live stream. My wife has just phoned me and she said I've got 10 minutes before she gets home. She's doing spaghetti for her and the kids and her mother. So I just wanted to tell you what videos I'm going to do in the next few days, but not just that. I've been getting thousands of comments every day, not just on YouTube, but on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And I just want to let you guys know how I respond to comments. So the first sort of year of my channel, if I saw a negative comment about Elvis or Priscilla or a family member, I would just ignore it and I never used to delete them. I just used to sort of go past them and not give it a like or reply. So I started I started reading these comments, because if they were starting off with a bad sentence, I would not even read them. I would just read the first few words. So a while ago, a few months now, I decided I'm going to read them and try and understand why I'm getting so many negative comments about whether it's Elvis or Priscilla or ex-girlfriends or Memphis Mafia or Graceland Enterprises or family members. And I just thought I need to read these comments and understand. And one of my kids are going to walk in now. Ria, I'm just on doing a live stream, okay? I won't be long. Anyway, so I started reading these comments and I started thinking, I need to understand why people are saying what they're saying. So a lot of the comments are basically, my son's walking in. Sorry. A lot of the comments are derogatory about Priscilla. So what this made me do was look into the history from when Elvis first met Priscilla, obviously in Germany, when she was very young, and then the friendship they had, and then eventually when she moved to America, and then the parents, and then eventually when they became a couple, and then how Elvis's life was during that period. Obviously, he'd come out of the army, he'd gone back to make GI Blues, he did the Frank Sinatra TV special, and he was very nervous, very worried about his career once he came out of the army. And then so from the point of view of Priscilla, she came to Graceland. I know they had other homes as well. And how Elvis treated Priscilla, but also his influence on her. But then when he went off to film the movies, things went on. He obviously had affairs on the movie sets with some co-stars. And it was one life with Priscilla in Graceland. And there was one set of rules for that. And then a whole nother set of rules if he was on tour or away doing movies. So what I'm trying to say to you is then things went on once their relationship hit a rocky period, and things went on then. So then you've got Priscilla, what she was getting up to, whether it was with a dance instructor or eventually with the karate instructor. So, and then so-called affairs that she has. And then obviously we've got the book Child Bride, which goes into detail about the life that she had before she even met Elvis. And now, if that's true or not, I have no idea. It's there's some very interesting things said in that book that I find hard to believe. I can't say if it's true or not. I wasn't there. So then I started reading all these comments. Then it's the money stuff. So when they had a divorce, there was a settlement, and then Priscilla would go back for more. That really upset people. And I think this happened 2 or 3 times where she tried to get more money. And then you've got that she stopped using his name and went back to being called Priscilla Bolo. But then later on, started using the name Presley again. That upset a lot of people. she also was unfaithful, and she went into very serious relationships after Elvis. And then you've got how people felt that she was with Lisa Marie as she was growing up, and especially when she became a teenager, and how Priscilla's boyfriends, things went on that upset the fans with the choices that Priscilla made as boyfriends. Obviously, she never got married, and she did have, obviously, she had children. And then there's more financial stuff that has upset a lot of people. So I get it. A lot of people are upset with Priscilla for many, many reasons. There's some people, not many, that are upset with Elvis because they think he was completely unfaithful, and that some of the girls he liked were quite young. So I don't like it when people say something bad about Elvis, but I try and keep open-minded. And so what I've started doing now, rather than just ignoring the comments or deleting them, is I'm trying to respond. I'm trying to say to people, look, I do understand. I know that the people that are upset with Priscilla and the few with Elvis, I see their point of view. And now I may not agree with their point of view. I mean, there are some things with Priscilla I do agree with. I do think she has lost her way. I do think Priscilla has made a lot of mistakes. But I also think Priscilla has done a lot of good. I'm not an anti-Priscilla person, definitely not. And, you know, her life at the moment must be absolute hell. I know there's still legal tangles going on right now with Elvis Presley Enterprises to do with the Priscilla movie. So I know that for an elderly woman, because let's face it, I don't actually know her age, but she's in her mid-70s. Her life is very complex, and she's lost her daughter, her grandson, and she definitely must be going through hell. She puts on a brave face, and she doesn't have the best body language when she's being interviewed. She comes across very cold and hard, and I actually don't believe she is. I think that she's hurting just like any other human being would. I do think she does have her eye on the money more than she should, especially at her age. So I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to say to the comments that are negative, I'm going to try and reply in a fair way where I understand your point of view, where I respect your point of view. Obviously, if the comments are just outright rude, where people are swearing, then I will delete them. But I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to be fair on these comments. I don't want to see everything from my point of view. And a lot of the comments I get make me go and do more research. Like sometimes I'll get things wrong in my videos and people will put me right. I'll go and do some research and I'll find out what could be the truth. And actually an interesting video, the one I did about Elvis Presley when he had his after party in 1970, where you had Sammy Davis Jr. and Cary Grant there, people were telling me all the names of all the people that were at that party. And so, quite a few of them, I didn't know who they were. And people were telling me who they were. And I found that really interesting. I was looking up all these people. One of them was a famous, like a cowboy type film star, who was also later on as an elderly man, was in Dallas. I forget his name now. Was it Dave something? I can't remember. But just I was learning about all these different people that were at that after party who I didn't recognize. And thanks to the comments I've been getting. So sometimes I get the years wrong. So I re-look at things. I definitely get my spelling wrong. My grammar isn't great. You know, my commas and full stops and capital letters. I do get things wrong. My spelling sometimes actually makes me laugh how badly I get it. But I do actually try and get my spelling correct now and then. So, okay, that's that. So then now I've found there's a channel who I recommend. He doesn't even know I'm going to recommend it. And it's called, let me just remember, it's called, I think, let me just get it on my phone. And I highly recommend this channel. Obviously, I use YouTube to, let me just try and get up on the history. Yeah, it's called Rare Elvis Presley. Rare Elvis Presley, all one word. And it's, so Rare, capital R, Elvis, capital E, Presley, capital P. And it's all one word. And whoever that is that channel belongs to, your channel is amazing. And you have really covered every aspect of Elvis. All his ages. You've got amazing footage on that channel. covering everything Elvis. And I would say the best channel I have come across. And the reason I know about it is because you commented on one of my videos saying that you'd actually been there at the day of the funeral. So I just want to say to you, thank you. And I love your channel, and I'm going to use some bits off your channel. And a lot of the stuff on YouTube is, every single thing you could possibly want to find out about Elvis, whether it's pictures or old footage or new stuff. It's all there on YouTube, free to everyone to get. But what I'm trying to do is really, really look on YouTube, and not just YouTube, but mainly YouTube, and then find these rare clips or these very interesting clips and put my spin on those clips. Now, one of the video clips that I found on the rare Elvis Presley channel was the guy who announces Elvis has left the building, and I think his name's Al, and he does a short interview explaining how that happened, that he became the person that was basically saying Elvis has left the building, which obviously is very famous. And he also became the announcer, so announcing the merchandise selling and announcing the concert stuff. And I'm going to do a video on that. I put my spin on it. I've just found that so interesting. But I have really found a lot of very, very interesting footage of Elvis. 50s, 60s, and 70s. Amazing footage. And I really want to go through each bit I've found and put my spin on it and put it out there for you guys on my channel. Because believe it or not, I know we've all seen all this footage many times. Especially if you're an Elvis fan, you've watched most of the footage. But I do believe that it is worth reposting these things just to refresh everyone. And even me, I've come across some footage that I have found absolutely amazing. And it's lovely to see Elvis in these old clips, not just in the 50s and 60s, also in the 70s, also close to when he passed. Some of the footage is really good. So I'm definitely still madly searching for more footage. I have found so much footage on so many different channels that I think I could probably make videos for another 50 years and I still won't cover it all. There's that much footage and stories from Elvis, and not just from Elvis and Priscilla and family members and Lisa Marie and the Memphis Mafia and cousins and old employees and people that lived at Graceland, and then rare interviews from news channels and different channels around the world, especially in Australia. Australia, there is a massive following of Elvis fans in Australia with amazing old rare footage that was done especially in the 70s actually. And I found some really brilliant old clips of songs that Elvis sung that we didn't even know that he had sung. I think there was one that I heard the other day. It was an Olivia Newton-John song, and I never knew Elvis even knew Olivia Newton-John, and she's amazing. So my point is that there is just too much footage for me to cope with, and what I've learned is, because I do get flustered by so many different things, stories and clips, I don't know where to start. So what I've learned is just concentrate on the one topic. Like today, I was still finishing off my clips with the friendship between Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. Obviously, they have the comeback show, and when he came out of the army, when Nancy Sinatra brought him out and on the discharge, when he was discharged from the army, and then he had the comeback show, which was massively successful. And I think that's when Frank Sinatra grew to like Elvis. And I've had quite a few comments about Frank Sinatra and Elvis, and not everyone thinks that they were close and good friends. I personally, from the clips I've watched and the things I've read on Google, think that they had quite a good friendship, but it was complicated because of, you've got Juliet Prowse, who was the co-star in GR Blues, and Elvis supposedly had an affair with her, and Frank also did. So what I'm saying is that I don't think their friendship was completely straightforward, but Frank Sinatra loaned out his aeroplane, I think it's called the Nancy something, to Elvis for the wedding with Priscilla, which was a real rush job, and quite hush hush, and not many were invited to that wedding. So that says a lot to me. If you're going to lend someone your aeroplane, and I think Frank behind the scenes really did put a lot of time into organising that wedding. I think they must have been close. They must have been good friends. And I know that Frank would phone Elvis regularly about his health. So some people think, no, Frank Sinatra couldn't stand Elvis, and Frank Sinatra tried to ruin Elvis's movie career, and Frank Sinatra had it in for Elvis because he disliked rock and roll music. I don't know. I don't know the truth. I wasn't there, but my gut tells me they were okay friends. They weren't the best of friends, but they were okay. So I really did concentrate today on doing all the different little clips of my, I think it was a 7-minute video with Frank Sinatra and Elvis. And then I'm not going to do any more videos today. I'm going to carry on researching, but I think tomorrow I'm going to do this video about the guy who started the saying, Elvis has left the building. Right. The dogs are barking, which means my wife's home. Peace out to you. All the best to you. I really enjoy talking to you, and I'll speak to you soon. I hope you're enjoying my videos. It's a pleasure for me to make videos for you. Thank you. Peace out.